Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Has everybody been getting ready for Easter? I know it seems a little bit soon, but it really isn't if you want to make some nice projects to surprise people with. So I'm going to be continuing with my Easter Bunny series. Okay, and today I want to make a little background, and because it's Watercolor Wednesday, I decided that what I would do is I would continue on with the theme. So far you've seen me take these little Easter bunnies. Whoa, that is seriously zoomed in. Hold on. Get back. Okay, so here is the Easter bunny, the way it looks when it's stamped on the cardstock, and this is just a little tone-on-tone stamping. And then here he is with the addition of some ink. So these are the water-based inks that we use to replenish the stamp pads with, which work very nicely with a watercolor effect. And then here is the bunny that I did using the watercolor pencils and some additional inks to make a more finished looking bunny. What I'd like to do is to create a little scene with all the bunnies and some of the other elements that are included in this stamp set. I've also pulled out some vintage Easter postcards that I have, and these are really beautiful, and I don't know if the camera will pick up the beautiful gold sheen on here, but I've got this gorgeous one with the rooster and the hen and the baby chicks. So I love that. And then I've got this other one with the flock in a scenic background. And so this is the direction I'm kind of leaning in today. And so what I've done is I've pulled out some ink pads, and the color palette I have here is So Saffron, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, and Granny Apple Green. Now, the project that I have in mind has many different steps to it. And for those of you who are following along and would like to have the complete instructions and the video on how I make the finished project, you can get that when you place an order of $50 or more, and I will have all of that information posted below. And if you can't wait, you can see the previous video, and that information is in the description there. And then finally today, I've been working on my garden portfolio. So I've got it all stitched together, and it's just about done. And I had promised you that I would show you how to stitch in the signature. So I left one signature loose, and I'm going to show you that at the end of the video today. So if you're interested in this, please stick around to the end, and I will show you how to do that and how the portfolio looks. All right, so it's a busy day, so let's get started. I have a little scrap here of crumb cake, and I've got some Sahara Sand ink, and I'm going to grab a clear block. So this one is a D block. All right, and then I also have a blender pen handy. So this is pretty much what I'm going to be using in this video, I think. I'm just checking my settings, making sure that you can see me. There we go. And there's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Uh-oh, black screen. I wonder what that was all about. All right, well, hopefully it's resolved itself. Okay, so I'm also going to need a piece of scrap paper for masking. So let me just find a piece of scrap that I can tear up. There we go. All right, now the center of interest is going to be our main bunny, and got everything falling all over the place here. And he's going to be situated down in this corner. Let me pull this a little bit closer so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so there's Bunny, but he also has a couple of friends here, so let's grab them. Okay, here's the little bunny that is sitting up on his haunches, very cute. Get him on there straight. I'm gonna have him, let's see, where do I want him? I guess I want him a little bit towards the back. Put him here, all right, and then finally, we've got the third bunny, and this is where I may have to do a little bit of masking. Okay, he's facing the wrong way. Okay, I'm gonna redo this. I want this bunny facing in this direction. Okay, and then take my main bunny back over here. Okay, and then I have this little upright bunny, and he's just going to go, I think, in the middle. So I'm just going to cover up these two bunnies like so. And put him something like that. Okay, so now I've got a cute grouping of bunnies, and I'll bring you in a little bit so you can see them better. There we go. Okay, so here's our group of bunnies getting together and discussing all of their plans for Easter. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do exactly the same thing as I did in the previous video with the watercolor pencils, except here they are. Except what I want to do is to create a little scene where I have some depth in the picture plane. And if you are a member of the Watercolor Card Club, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're not a member of the Watercolor Card Club, you may want to check that out, where I go into much more detail on how to paint with watercolors, paint with inks, but more importantly, what the concepts are, the fine art concepts in the background that you have in your mind as you begin to work on a little scene like this. So I'm just putting a very light tone on the bunnies. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't want to bore you. I know that you're busy and you want to get back to your projects, but I just want to give you a little update on where I'm going with the bunny project. And if you're somebody who has been following for a while, you may remember sometime back we had those counting, I think it was called Counting Sheep stamp set. It was I think it was a celebration item. And this goes back a year or two, maybe 3. I don't remember exactly. But I created a board game that was very popular at the time using the Counting Sheep stamps. And I'm thinking that this set, this little Easter bunny set, is perfect for making another board game. So so that's the direction I'm going in. So there are my 3 little bunnies started, and I can add a little bit of white on their chests. Like so. And I don't want to forget their cute pink ears. So I like the way the melon mambo looked. So I'm just going to grab that again. Oh, I grabbed Calypso Coral. That'll work. Just looking for kind of a warm pink. So there we go. Ears, nose, and in the stamp set we also have these little grass blades. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a block and mount those up. Oh, there's Kelly. She says she remembers the board game. That was a really, really fun project, and I was very pleased with the way that came out. The only thing you really needed to add to that was a pair of dice, and you were in business. And yeah, so that's something I've got rolling around in the back of my mind. All right, so I'm using the Granny Apple Green. This block is a little bit too big, but we'll make it work. And I'm just going to, I just want to see what the, how this looks. I'm going to need my, there we go. Got a little bit of ink up there, so I'm just going to add that over the top. All right, I'm just doing a little because I also want some other goodies in here, like the like maybe the eggs and some other things. So I'm just adding a little bit, and I think I'll go up a little bit. going to leave that blank in there because we may want to put some eggs in there. All right. Let's see. So just to give you a point of reference here, here are the bunnies just begun to be shaded in, and here is a bunny that's fully shaded in. All right, and so I don't want these other bunnies to compete with that one, so I'm not going to develop them quite as much, but I do want to develop them a little bit more. What have I got here? Wrong pencil. So I'm just going to add a little more, just a touch. Okay, this is where your values come in and your atmospheric perspective. So for those of you who have been following along, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is what's going to give you that wonderful sense of depth in your scene. I'm not going to worry about him because he's going to have the punch over top. All right, so there's a little something. Now I want to get out my trimmer because next, actually, I don't need the trimmer. I'm going to use my scissors. I do want to put a line though. I do need a, I'm just going to go from corner to corner with my scoring blade. And I'm just going to put a partial score in the background area. And I think that's all I need, just that corner. And I'm going to come up along that line and I'm going to cut out this little shape. And I'm using the inked outline of the bunny as my guide. There's Houdini saying hello to everybody. Oh brother, we've got a whole chorus in the background today. I have Houdini in here, and I brought in Otello because I thought he needed to be in hospice, and he's made a miraculous recovery. So now I've got the two of them, and I keep thinking that spring is right around the corner, and I put them out, but we've had more snow, and right now it looks like a winter wonderland out there, so it's going to be a little bit longer. So sorry for the extra noise. All right, and then here, I just want to make a partial cut around the ear, and then I'm just going to make a shape. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. Let me get a piece of cardstock behind it so that you can see that better. All right, so there they are. And I am going to do a little bit of sponging. This is the Sahara Sand ink, and I'm just gonna go along this edge that I just cut. It's a little bit hard for me to see under the camera, but you can do a nicer cutting job than I'm doing here. Down here, I'm going to go back to my green. And just snip out of these shapes, just so that it's not such a straight edge. Okay. All right, so that's the cutting done, and you may be able to guess that the idea here is to make a little pop-up card. And to do that, just take your card base and create a score line from corner to corner. And what did I do here? Oh, I've got the wrong orientation. I need a tent style card, so hold on. Hold on just a second while I get another piece of card. This is going to be scored at 5.5. And then cut at 4.25. Okay, let me just check, make sure I've got this right. And then we're going to put the score on this side. Make sure those corners are lined up. Okay, all right. sorry about that. I grabbed the wrong card. So this is going to go like so. And then these fellows are going to go on here like this. Okay? So I think you can see that. Now I'm not going to assemble it just yet because I've got a lot more coloring to do. But if I grab that other bunny, he's going to go on there like that. All right, and then I'm going to use that palette of colors that I showed you earlier to begin adding all of these other little details. So I'll have a finished shot of that after the video today. But I'm going to stop here for the moment because what I want to do is I want to get to that signature that I promised you that I'd show you. So let me just move these things over a little bit. Okay. I'm using the linen thread. On Saturday, for Paper Crafting Saturday, I'm going to be showing you much more with the Easter Bunny project. So if you're following along with that and you're interested, please make sure that you come back then because it's going to be a much longer video. And I can show you how all these things come together. Okay, so here I've already stitched in one signature. Let me make sure you're zoomed out all the way. Okay, I guess that's all we've got. So there's the one signature in place. So I'm just going to show you how to do this second signature. So I have my paper here, ready to go. And this is 1, 2, 3, 5 folios. And I've got my template. And the template just has the markings of where the stitching has to go. I've already pierced my cover. And I'm just going to grab my piercing mat. If you don't have a piercing mat, then if you have an old phone book or a piece of foam, anything that will allow the piercing tool or your awl to go through. And I'm just going to kind of line that up. The template's just a little bit longer than the paper. So there we go. And my piercing tool. If you don't have one of these, you can use an awl. I would recommend that you use something that has a tapered point, but one that doesn't have such a thick shaft because you don't want the hole to be too big. And I'm afraid that if you're thinking of using your take a pick tool, you're going to find that it's too thick for this. So see if you can find something a little narrower, and you can also try using your needle, but that could be a little bit awkward. An awl or a bookmaker's piercing tool would be best. So just make sure that all of your folds are lined up nicely that the template is seated well in the fold, and just make your 5 piercings. Move this up a little bit. Oops. Get that back into place. That last one. There we go. So this is called the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And because I want the tails to be on the inside of the folio, I'm starting in that direction, and I'm just pushing that needle, make sure I'm in the right place here. There we go. So just pushing the needle through, pulling it out through the spine, and you may need a pair of pliers if your fingers are slippery, but this is working just fine. And you want to leave a tail, so I'm leaving a little bit of a tail on the inside so I have something to tie. And come back up through the spine. It's a little bit hard to do on camera because I want to make sure that you can see, and the book's a little bit oversized. There we go. Back down. Through the spine. Now when you get to the end here, you want to just pull your tails so that it's taut, so you don't have any loose bits. All right, and then come back through this hole, but try not to pierce the thread. Just go alongside the first stitch that you made. All right, now here you want to skip a hole, come all the way down to this 4th one from the top, bring that through your book cover, so you have something like that. Then you come back up in the last hole, through your signature, and again at this point you want to pull your threads, make sure that it's nice and taut. Back through here, and then into the middle. Now at this point what you want to do is you want to make sure, and I'll zoom you in here, you want to make sure that your 2 threads are straddling this center stitch. Okay, so you want to have 1 thread on each side of that stitch. All right, and you just give it a little tug, make sure it's nice and taut. Check the back that there are no loops. Okay, that looks good. And now I'm just going to give that a double knot And that knot will hold that big stitch in the center. And then you have a choice. So if you want to decorate your journal with some charms, you could leave the tails longer and you could attach some beads or something to the ends. But for this book, because this is going to be a garden portfolio, I'm just going to give those a little snip. So there is my second signature. All right. I've got a nice pocket here. So in there I can keep my loose pieces of paper. I can also use it to store my paintings. I've got another pocket in the back. And I could do the same thing there. So I can take some of this paper and stash that in the back of the book. All right, so you can fit plenty of paper in here. You can see the beautiful heat embossing that I added and the stitching that I put around the edges and on the flaps. And then I also made a couple of pockets over on this side for my brushes. So they can just slip right in there like so. Now, if you're interested in making one of these journals, please make sure that you follow me and that you subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage Design, because I will be announcing the journal making workshop and you're invited to follow along. So in order for me to get that information to you, though, you have to be subscribed to Notes. So please go to dandelioncottagedesign.com, subscribe to Notes, and I will send you that information. And also, I will be posting the link for that below. So there's that completed. Next is going to be finishing my little pop-up card, or I guess you would call it an easel card. That's going to look something, grab the wrong one again. It's going to look something like this. Okay. And then I'm going to begin on making the box for the board game. So lots of stuff coming up. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I really appreciate having you here. Please don't forget to like and follow me here on Facebook and also on YouTube to see how these projects progress. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.